Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the TaiPhoon podcast. I'm your host today, Ben. And then we have our other hosts, Aiyanna. Say hello, Aiyanna.
Hi, everyone.
James.
Hello.
Go, shorty. It's your birthday.
And Jacinda.
Hi.
In today's episode, we will each be talking about our educational experiences and what it's like to be in school in our respective countries. Maybe what it's like moving to Taiwan and seeing how it is here. So first, I would just dive right into it. Jacinda, I want to know, what was your educational experiences here in Taiwan?
Well, we start from the strictest and the most hardworking one. Okay.
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye.
Most hardworking
I feel like
is a choice.
I would like to emphasize on probably like cram school and also the school time in Taiwan. From my experience, that is safe because Taiwanese we speak Chinese, right? And so I feel like Chinese parents will always like to have their children to learn. If they have more time or if they have more money, they will want to let them learn English in advance. So for me, I was being put inside an American school when I was in kindergarten. Started at that time when I was 2 years old only, and I started to learn English. And then all the way to primary school, we do have an entrance exam to go to primary school if you wanted to go to private primary school. So I then enroll in a private primary school, which I need to get an entrance exam. Do you guys have entrance exam at that time when you're enrolling in elementary school?
No.
No.
Okay.
Huh?
So for me, because we needed to have a we differentiate levels for children if they are like already good in English, like maybe a little bit. They have some basics, or the people that have zero, know nothing about English. So we differentiate that. So that's why we need to take that entrance exam. All the way to high school and junior high school, I do have entrance exam again because I enroll in private school. So it's either if you wanted to go to private school or you wanted to go to public school. If private school, for an elementary school and junior high school, we all have entrance exam. For senior high school, everyone needs to take an exam for you to put in like the top high school or okay high school in Taiwan, something like that. You do have that thing, right?
Yeah.
No, you just directly go in.
No, we have like 4 high schools in Palau, you just pick one.
The one nearest, something like that.
Usually it's the one nearest to your house.
Yeah. In the U.S., it's about the address. It's about the where you're living.
School district.
For me-
District, yeah.
For me, it's about your school district, but it's also about the ranking of the school.
We have no ranks in Palau.
One rank.
Just Palau school.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys ever been to like study in cram school or like after school program?
Yeah, because as you were talking about the entrance exam, so we have an entrance exam to get into. So in the Caribbean, we say secondary school. We don't say high school, but for lack of a better word, I'll just say high school. So we have high school entrance exam and then like college entrance exam. And so normally your parents would just immediately put you in after school lessons for math, physics, whatever subjects that you're doing for the entrance exams. So we didn't call it cram school, but it definitely felt like a cram school. But yeah, what about Taiwan?
So I feel like cram school in Taiwan is like either or. For after school program, there are after school program in both public schools or in private school. For my experience, when I was in high school, I'm gonna stay all the way from like 7:30 is my going to school time. When school starts. I need to stay all the way to 8:30 at night. So the after school program is around starting from like 5:30 or something all the way to 8:30. So that at that period of time there are still a lot of people that is occupying the school. We all stay at school. So it's kind of like 10 to 11 hour at school.
Yeah,
all the time.
that's not with the same school.
Yeah, the same school,
Hmm.
like my high school.
Is
That's
that
my
like,
high school life.
are you doing like extra lessons for subjects, or is it like just
Mhm.
so that you, is it what, like sports or?
It depends. Not sports. Nothing fun.
Mm.
It's either everyone squeeze inside a big, like a big space for people to like study and then do their homeworks, or you can pick if you wanted to have extra classes for science, for math, or for English, something like that.
Okay.
So back to cram schools. I feel like a lot of kids now in Taiwan, if they are in elementary school, because elementary school they don't really have that much time for after school program all the way to at night. So if the parents cannot take care of the kids at night, they will still take them to cram schools, and they can choose whether they want cram school for like teaching English lessons, like learning English, or just again a class when the teacher is sitting over there and monitoring whether you are finishing your homework or not.
Okay.
For my experience, I do English cram schools, so that's how I also continue to learn English, and yeah, basically like that. And that's how Taiwanese students are doing from Monday to Friday. Not every single day, but maybe for weekdays for 2 days for going to cram school, or like 3
Right.
days. Yeah.
So in high school,
Mhm.
when you were getting ready for like college,
Yes.
you had cram school, or did you go to after school program, or was it like both?
I think both, but for high school it's kind of different. You can choose which subject is the same as which subject that you're going to take for entrance exam, and you feel like you're gonna have like more lessons for you to pick up more things. Yeah, but it will. I think mostly they will be put in Saturday and Sundays.
Ah.
Yeah,
okay.
so for my experience, I go on Sundays sometimes.
So then in high school during the week
Yeah.
you just went to school and then back home.
Back home at 9:30 for the whole year.
So the school day ends at 9:30.
Yes, so I don't even have time to go to cram schools. That's
Now-
my experience because I'm at private school. But
Now, why do you think that there is that kind of system? Is it because your parents think that it might be better for you to be in that kind of learning environment and finishing your homework? Or because like, why can't you do the same thing back at your house?
yeah, that is just a mandatory thing if you are in this private school. But
I see.
yeah, if you're in public school, maybe your school ends at 5:40 or something, and then you can go wherever you want.
Oh, so your school actually
Yeah.
ended at 9. It's
Yeah.
not that it ended at like 5 and then you had like extra lessons in the school that ended at 9.
Something like an after-school program.
Ah.
Yeah, at school. So
But it's mandatory.
Yes, it is mandatory. So I'm giving them I feel like the most extreme situation that I have, but comparing to other high school students, they still have a very tough time, staying at school for a very long time. But mine is even more. So yeah, and because I don't have that much time to go on weekdays, so I go on Saturday and Sundays. Keep on, doing cram schools and after school programs. Yeah. How are your high school lives or like other things?
Our educational experiences,
I think Palau and the U.S. are going to be very similar.
very similar.
So I went to public schools,
Mm-hmm.
and it's it's by your address or by your school district that you're living in. So it kind of is not so good in a way because it does get segregated
Yeah.
because of that. Like I grew up in a very white community, so I was one of 3 Asians in high school, and yeah, it was kind of it was quite difficult. And then during elementary school is when I moved up from California, which is very diverse. My community was all Latinos and Filipinos, and so it's so moving to Oregon, where I did my high school, in a kind of a very different environment was a challenge. And when it comes to cram school and stuff, it doesn't really exist. There's a pretty good balance of education and kind of extracurricular. So our third period was last period ended at 2:30.
Oh.
You had 3 periods in one day.
Yeah, so what do you
two
guys
classes
do?
in the morning, and then after you have lunch,
Uh-huh.
and you have your afternoon class. And at 2:30, usually everyone will then do whatever sports they're in. So
That's cool. Every
yeah.
single day? Like sports? Or like, what other things
Yeah, I
do you
mean,
guys
if you're in the season,
Mhm.
if you're part of the team, of course you are, right? In high school, I was in the snowboard team, so that's just seasonal.
Mhm.
So then you're kind of busy, but then so at 2:30 we'll get onto the ski bus,
Yeah.
get up to the mountain,
Wow.
and then come back down at like.
So then when it's not season, do you just like go home after?
No, then if it's off season, then we're doing something, do something else.
Cool.
Oh.
So when spring hits, then what was I doing? Just random. I was on a row team at one point. Yeah. So
Cool.
you can just kind of pick what you want to do.
Mm.
For me, I'm half Japanese, so my mother, until 5th grade, made me go to Japanese school,
Mm.
and that was on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
oh,
from-
yeah, I do know that.
So and then also Chinese schools like that too. So a
Mm.
lot of second generation Asian kids
Mm.
will have to will get pressured to go
Yeah, I
into
heard about that.
Yeah, to
Chinese-
learn Chinese,
Chinese
to learn
school.
Japanese.
Korean, Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's usually it's on the weekends. It's one day,
Yeah.
Saturday, and then basically it's the same curriculum as if you are in Japan or from the mother country,
Yeah.
and you get a whole week's worth of education in one day,
Mm.
and a whole week's worth of homework. So yeah, I didn't last very long. I dropped out when I was in
Really?
5th grade. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Actually, it's kind of funny that well, it's cool that I'm now teaching 2 French kids that their parents want them to learn Chinese, so they also put them to Taiwanese school in Belgium, which
Oh,
is kind of
okay.
cool.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
teach them Chinese and stuff.
So there
Yeah.
was a Taiwanese school in Belgium.
There
Taiwanese
is.
Chinese.
Yeah. Chinese
Not-
school.
not,
Yeah.
Not China Chinese.
No, it's Taiwanese Chinese.
Hmm.
Yeah. They're-
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
Mhm.
So then so Jacinda said, okay, even though hers is like a more extreme case,
Yeah.
when would your day end?
Day ends?
Yeah. So like when would you go home?
You mean after sports?
Yeah, like after.
So it depends. So I mean, if it's snowboard season, we're not back until the evening
Mhm.
because the bus comes back. We all get something to eat, and then so like it's usually it's not until nighttime. It's usually pretty busy.
But the actual academic part ends at 2:30 every
2:30.
day.
How about the other kids? If they're at other teams or at the regular time for them to go back home, do they have dinner
Yeah.
with their parents
Yeah,
or?
it's usually so if there was nothing, I remember being at home already at 3 o'clock, like 3 p.m. watching
3 p.m.
watching
is-
GTV, and
Oh,
then
wow.
at 3 p.m. is when a lot of the shows for like
Nickelodeon?
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
Ah.
Because
Cool.
I remember getting at home and watching my favorite show, The Brady Bunch. At 3
The Brady Bunch.
Yeah, that was 3 p.m. I would rush to like go and like, watch it. Yeah, that was 3 p.m. And then usually there'll be like a little, if mom's home, she'll like cook like make a little
A
snack.
little snack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you have lots of time until dinner.
Right.
Aw.
Yeah, because there's lots of time until my dad will come back from work.
Right.
And I remember that there was, that's homework time and what. Yeah, so it's a lot more relaxed.
But I think
Definitely.
also because you're Asian American, there's also like there's kind of like the Asian strict kind of influence in the fact that you have to take like Saturday or Sunday school.
Yeah.
So like you said that would take the whole day. The whole day as in before dinner time you will be home, or it goes
On-
morning till night.
On Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, Saturday that was an all-day school. That was oh, and by the way, I feel like school starts a lot more earlier though,
What time does it start?
because I would wake up when the sun's coming up.
But then what time would school start?
I
No,
think
you mean
7
Japanese school?
No, I'm talking about
Actual school.
Oh.
I think it's like 7:30 or
Yeah, it's the time as what we are
The same?
doing too. Yeah, the
Okay.
same, 7:30. Yeah, but in Taiwan they're now offering that they started to that the high school kids to go to school at 8 because there are more people that are concerning about the kids' health that they really get little amount of sleep every single night because they have so much things to do, too much work. So yeah, 8 for class for high
okay.
school kids.
yeah.
How about you?
So in Palau, there's only, like I said, we only have 4 high schools. There's 2 private schools and elementary schools, and then 2 public schools. That's for high schools. For elementary schools, like, so in Palau, we have like states. Each state, I was like in the main one in Koror, which actually most students just went there anyway. Like if you lived outside,
They would
the
come.
state, they would go all the way in. It was only like it's an extra, maybe like 30 minutes or like 15
Right.
minutes. So you
15
just
minutes.
By boat? Or by car.
bus. You take a bus or a car.
By rickshaw.
Okay. I thought that they go
Climb a
on.
mountain to go to school.
No.
Oh, it's crazy.
No, we get there in the
Car.
regular means.
Okay.
Yeah. And elementary school was almost very similar to James in that like we go to school like 7:30. If you had sports at afternoon, you go to sports. We finish school around 2:30 to 3.
That's,
Parents usually like to keep their kids like doing things. So like for example, my parents put me in Little League, so I was in Little League for like most of my elementary school.
If you don't know what Little League is, everyone watching, it's baseball.
Yeah, Little League is baseball.
Yeah,
Cool.
in elementary school, I didn't do. I was forced to do the Boy Scouts,
Yeah.
so I was in Scouts until sixth grade.
oh my god.
Until sixth grade.
I'm not picturing yourself wearing,
in like
you
the
know,
little uniform.
And then
Yeah.
you have
As a
the
full
and
year.
small James, you know.
Yeah.
So what are the extracurricular curriculum activities that you're doing? Like,
usually just sports.
Just
Like we don't have
Uh-huh.
like cram schools.
no, I mean, because you guys are like islands, are there any other extracurricular activities that are, you know,
No,
like
I'm sure
water
there's, like-
sports or something?
There's like chess club. Oh, you mean
Water sports.
Like
water sports.
Water
water
sports.
sports. Like we don't do like water polo or anything like that. Like
Fishing stuff,
Fishing-
no?
that is more of like a hobby, and if you're hungry,
Okay.
kind of thing. There's no like we should all go fishing together. There's
Okay.
no, the school doesn't provide that for you.
So
Okay.
you said you were in Little League. So then, so you said your school day ends at like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So then afterwards, every day you would have Little League, or
Yeah, I
was it like
practiced every day.
Okay.
That sounds
That's in
so good.
elementary school.
Yeah, I practice even on weekends. I would go to practice.
Mm.
So that was that, and then high school is pretty much the same. We had a very
And you said they just put you, or you just choose the school that
yeah,
you
we
want.
just choose. Okay, so I mean, like, there is a sense of like the private schools are more better than the public schools. I think that's
It's
kind
the same in
of
Taiwan.
same with like everywhere.
Yeah.
There's that sort of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I went to a private school,
Mm.
both in elementary and high school,
Yeah.
and so that's how it was. All the systems. So all our schools in Palau are accredited by America, California.
Mm-hmm.
So all our system is pretty much the California school system.
Mm.
And so in high school we had to my school is a little bit far, so I had to take like a 30-minute bus ride to my high school. So it was 30 minutes bus to school, get there around like 8, start class, lunch, after school. Usually if you have like the only reason why you'd stay at school longer is
Because you get bad grade.
not even bad grade. Like if you have bad grades, you just have bad grades.
Okay.
Like if you
They don't
have
care.
like detention
Uh-huh.
No.
or
Wait, and that's after lunch. So after lunch you don't have class.
no, we have lunch after class. We're in school at 2:30.
Oh, so you just
No.
have a full
Yeah.
day and then you eat.
Huh?
You
No,
don't have
no,
a break.
No,
No,
We
time?
have lunch. We have lunch.
he has one class after lunch.
Oh,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said it wrong.
You said it
yeah.
wrong.
That was-
Yeah,
that
it's
was
the
my bad.
opposite.
That was my bad.
you're bad.
Yeah.
That was definitely my bad. Yeah, and then so either you're staying for either you're on the team and you stay at sports,
Mhm.
or you have detention.
Mm.
So that's the only reason why you'd be.
So there's no like after school lessons, or it's only like detention or your extracurricular activity.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. How
So-
about you? Oh.
No, but then also I wanted to
Mm.
ask, like, maybe all of you actually. This
Mm.
question is for all of you. You had to take the standardized test in high school, right? Like SAT or
Mm.
ACT.
Oh, okay, yeah. So in Palau, there's pretty much most people's destination is to go to America for school. That's like the ideal destination. At the time when I was in high school, I had to study the ACT.
Mm.
I also did it.
Yeah, I had to study and take the ACT. Because my school is accredited from America, we already have to take the SATs anyways within the school year, so we could just use those scores.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, ACT is what we studied for. But I don't remember or like really like sitting down and being forced to study it.
Mm.
Yeah, because and this is my understanding. Like if I apply to a school in America, I would be, if I were to be put into a pool of people who I'm competing with to get into the university, it would be other people with similar backgrounds.
Mm.
So like other islander people.
Yeah, Pacific
Mhm.
Islanders.
And so there's probably like one other person or like no one else competing with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a good chance of getting in anyway because of like diversity.
Diversity. So you took both the SAT and the ACT?
The only reason why we took the SAT is because it's we had to take it.
Part of like your curriculum.
It's part of the school. Like there was like 2 days of just the whole school was taking SATs from like 9 to 5.
So then why did you decide to take the ACT?
Because actually I was influenced by my Korean friend who told me that he was studying for the ACT, and he said that he told me that I should study and try to take it because the school offers practice tests.
That's very Korean of him.
Yeah, and so like I would go with him to his house like after school, and then like he'd study, and I'd kind of just be like hovering and like looking, and I would study a little bit, but I didn't really have to. I mean, I went there mostly just to hang out. I just knew that when I got there, I had to wait for him for 2 hours to study.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? Did you take any like American standardized tests or
No, because for me, we just have a university entrance exam entrance exam. Yeah, and our exam is like covering English, Chinese, math, science, and also society. There's 5 big subjects, and it's still for the people that wanted to go to America, they will take the SAT definitely.
Okay.
If you wanted to go to other places to study, we would take IELTS test. Have you ever? Know that IELTS test or something like that.
Okay.
Right now, I'm preparing an IELTS test, but it's for master degree. So yeah,
Okay.
we have our own.
Well, okay, my schooling, I think starting from I don't really know the lingo, like the American lingo, because for me, after preschool, you go to kindergarten, and then you enter infant school. That's what we call it, like infant school, and that starts, I think, at like 1st grade or something. But anyway, so you go to infant school after kindergarten, and then primary school, because we have like the British educational system, since our country was colonized last by the British. And then when you get to 6th grade is when you take high school entrance exams. And in my country, all the high schools are ranked, and there are the top schools. Actually, the top schools in our country are both Catholic, and one of them is an all-boys school and one of them is an all-girls school. So everybody's kind of trying to get into the top high schools. No matter if you're in a faraway district, you're trying to like get into the top schools, and it's quite difficult because everyone's trying to go. So in primary school, I took a lot of supplementary lessons after school. So my school day would start at 9, actually. So from infant school, I guess you guys would call that elementary.
Yeah.
School started at 9 or 9:30, and I think as you went up in grade, maybe you'd start at 8:30 or 9, but the school day always ended at like 3, like 2:30 in the younger grades, and then once you started going to grade 4, 5, 6, you ended at 3 or 3:30, and then you'd have maybe like a 10-15 minute break, and then get into your after school lessons, and those are paid for, so it's not like a mandatory thing. It's for the parents that think that you need extra lessons to make sure you have the grades to get into like the high schools. So my mom put me, of course, in a lot of extra lessons every single day. So I took the entrance exam, and then I got into the top high school, which, as I said, is thank you.
Congratulations.
As I said, is like it's a all girls Catholic high school, and then the second one is an all boys Catholic high school, and then high school started at 8:15 or 8:30, and it ended, I think, as well at 3:30. So we have 3 periods in the morning. We have a 10-minute break time, and then we have 2 periods, and then we have 3 periods in the afternoon. And then afterwards, again, because you're in high school, as soon as you start high school, you're kind of already prepping for the college entrance exams. So maybe you start taking extra lessons again. So I can't remember a time that I wasn't taking extra after school lessons. So eventually you get to a year in high school where in my high school specifically, you have to choose the tract that you want. So, and it's very competitive. So like if you don't have grades in chemistry, physics, biology, they're going to put you in the arts class. So it ranges from PS, which means pure science class, to arts class. So there's pure science, business, and then art. I ended up going to the business class. And the way our school works is that they will put you in a class depending on the grades you have in all the subjects. So if you want to go to college for something that's more science-based or tech-based, you just have to take lessons in the subjects that you're not allowed to take in the high school so that you can take the college entrance exam for it. So I was in a business class, and the only science I was doing was biology. And at the time, I needed to take physics. So I had to take physics as an extra course outside of school, taught by either an outside teacher or a teacher in the school that was giving after school lessons. And I also had to take technical drawing as an extra supplementary course because it wasn't in the business tract. So in total, I took, I think, 10 or 12 subjects in total, because our college entrance exam, you pay by the subject. So you have to pay the organization per subject of what you want to do for you to be able to take the exam. So yeah, it's kind of complicated, so I'm not gonna like go too much into it. But yeah, so took the college entrance exam. I have that, and I also took the ACT because they introduced the concept of ACTs in our school in like the year before I had to graduate. So we ended up taking it. I think I got, I want to say a 26 out of 36, I don't know. And I don't think I ever ended up using those scores. But after that, yeah, here I am at Fuda. So, yeah. Well, maybe we should start talking about our Fujin Catholic University experience and how that kind of differs from where we're from. I don't know.
Okay, I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
So my whole idea of university and the concept of university is American style university. So coming here, it was very different. Right now, I have like 25 credits, which to me sounds absurd. Usually you have like, because in Palau we have a community college, and I went there for school. I had like in a day maybe like 2 classes, and I would have it like multiple times a week. Like I would have like 1 class 2 times a week.
Like if it was math, you'd have like math on a Tuesday, but you'll also have math on like a Thursday.
Yeah. But in Taiwan, we just have like 2 hours, 2-3 hour courses, and you take it once per week.
Yes.
Which was very was very new to me. I think that was very interesting, and the level of like how studious you have to be, and like how you have to attend class all the time, because they said like if you have 3 absence, you're pretty much gonna fail the class.
Yeah.
That was like never a thing. Like you don't come to the lecture, you don't come to the lecture.
It's like on you to put the effort, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of a surprise to me too.
What about you?
Yeah, similar. I mean, like attending the classes, attendance is a big thing here.
Yeah.
I think Taiwanese students seem to be studying a lot, but from my experience at BPIS, I think the load is quite light. I mean, I went to my first year of college in the States a long time ago already. But then again, it was a different time. We didn't use laptops for school. It was still kind of books.
It was a different
time. Like laptops were not that, like not everyone had laptops.
This was pre-2000.
No, it was 2006.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. 2006.
Really?
Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, I felt like the load back then, but then again, I was younger and a little bit, didn't have the patience or like the focus. Like I mean.
You mean in the university in America?
Yeah. Right. I was 18, a little wild child.
A little rebellious, if you will.
So I mean, like your attention span is very short, right? So I feel like it was a lot more challenging back then, and now it's quite. I feel like the load is quite light. I mean, you can go to the coffee shops around and you see the Taiwanese students working really hard. I'm like, I've never had to do that, you know. So like, I'm not sure what the difference is, but or maybe it's just maybe our program is maybe easier.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Lighter load. I don't want to say easier.
I mean, there are some classes that are more challenging than others, of course. But in general, I feel like it's quite...
Maybe it's also like because I think if we were to do, even if our school was a completely English, all English, maybe if we were to do something like mechanical engineering, we would find ourselves in the same boat as the Taiwanese students
Could
studying.
be, yeah. I think engineering, this is a country of engineers.
Yeah.
So I think that program is probably quite intensive. What's another thing? I think also...
Like medical, accounting.
Yeah.
I think if we had something that maybe required specific processes, like that would probably lead us to be more cooped up in a cafe or in our dorm doing a lot of work.
It might be our teachers as well.
True.
Our teachers are not very local teachers.
No, but
in the sense that they're like really
super strict.
Work. I actually had a very local Taiwanese teacher who taught me statistics.
Yeah.
We had lab every week, and I would spend at least 3 hours studying that lab. And I still failed that class because it was really hard. Like if you didn't study, you were done.
I know, but I also think the undergrad, the first year and second year, the required classes were quite kind of chill, right? I remember my first year in...
The first year was a breeze, I feel like, our freshman year.
First year, we didn't have any math classes or anything.
Like we
did English.
We had English, but like, I mean, our first language is English.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But kind of like the required courses, just to make sure your kind of like educational ability. It was kind of like, it's quite vague.
Yeah.
And kind of like what they wanted to kind of make sure we have under our belt, right? I thought that was interesting. I also think the kind of like the student lifestyle here is very different.
So different. I really, really wanted to say it will be a dream for all of the Taiwanese students to have class like ends at 3 or 2. It's just like never gonna happen.
Well, university life is a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean like back in high school, junior high school, even in elementary school, we still go to cram schools. And if you are not unwilling to go to cram school, your parents will still take you there, or like either to let you pick something else, like piano lessons, something like that.
Yes.
It's not about sports.
Yeah, I mean, I teach at a cram school. So,
me too.
Yeah, I mean, like I teach the kids until almost 8 o'clock, and after they're done with their school at 4:30, and
they will come, right?
Yeah, and so they're tired. I can see it. I feel it.
Yeah.
Some days they have more energy, some days not. But in general, they're exhausted. They don't want to process anything in their brain.
Yeah.
Then you're trying to teach them English, and then it's kind of a I have to think as a teacher, like how to approach according to how they feel. Because also in Taiwan, you cannot be too tough on the kids. I feel like.
Because their parents aren't that.
I feel like this generation of kids is growing up in a very
spoiled.
Not spoiled.
Babied.
Because going to cram school is no fun, but they are babied.
Yeah.
So the parents they really care.
Cater to the child.
Yeah, and they really care who the teacher is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I think that because I mean you are taking care of the kids for a few hours every day. So I mean but they also really want to know what they're paying for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So
you always needed to give a an outcome of something in the end.
But I feel like Jacinda was saying, like Taiwanese students would love like ending school early. I never experienced getting home early from school because I feel like you, your parents wanted you to be in something. So after a full day of going to extra lessons, or like I was in a swim club, I also had ballet, I also had like other like sports or whatever the case may be. So I would be getting home a lot earlier than this Jacinda, but like 7 or 8 p.m. going to 9 p.m. Regularly. But also our school system in elementary and high school is super, super, super strict. And so coming to Taiwan, I feel like our university just feels like, when I first got here, I didn't really know what to do because I felt like I was just wasting time because it was just so, the workload is light.
Yeah, it's light.
Also, I feel like the things that we were being taught, I was already taught those things in my high school because of the kind of subjects they would teach us. So I went to private school, and in 12th grade, we had a lot of the subjects I feel like we're taking at Fuda. So even now, some courses that we take, I'm kind of like, I already know this, or I already know how to answer this. And so for me still, sometimes I ask myself, like, is this really the real university or college experience? Because I guess I was expecting more of what I know or what I think or imagine the U.S. college system to be, which I think might be more rigorous and there's a lot more homework and there's a lot more things that you have to do and deadlines. And I'm used to a very strict schedule and having something to do at all times of the day. And so coming to Taiwan, definitely I had to relax a bit and learn to be okay with being a bit more laid back in terms of like the whole school system.
It's interesting because it's contradicting kind of what the Taiwanese kids, how they're raised, right? Lots of school, lots of after-school programs.
And I feel
very busy, and then I'm not sure. Maybe from our perspective in Fuda, it's like that, but maybe of course different programs, or if you're a Taiwanese student, it might be different.
I think it's different.
Taiwanese
It's
professors
different.
towards Taiwanese students, the way that they handle it might be different. I don't know.
Well, I can say that both. Well, I have a lot of like foreign professors. I think most of them in my department, which is English department, they're also very strict. They are very strict. They are even stricter than those Taiwanese professors.
No, I think the foreign professors are stricter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
For us.
for us in our
Okay.
department.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's the same.
It almost feels like our local Taiwanese professors. It almost feels like they're babying us. You know, like they're very attentive towards us, and attendance and lateness. If you give them an excuse, they'll take it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the foreign
it
teachers
is
are a
the
bit
foreign,
more.
the foreign professors are a lot more tough.
They're tougher.
Okay. Well, we've reached the end of this week's episode of TaiPhoon Podcast. I think now we all have a better understanding of our educational experiences. It's very interesting to hear from Taiwan, St. Lucia, and America.
Indeed.
And
And Palau, of
Palau.
course.
And
course.
Palau.
Yes.
Inclusive.
Thank you all for listening or watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Sam.
Happy
Happy birthday, Sam.
We
Sing
still
it
need to stop.
again.